All right. What's up, everybody? You guys like that jingle? You like that intro? Let me know. I made a couple jingles here for the show, so might switch it up here in the future. But I like that one. I like that intro. But hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Good Days Only podcast, episode numero ocho. Whoa. That means number 8 for all my non-Spanish speaking folk out there. But yes, welcome back to the Good Days Only podcast, bringing you good coffee, good vibes, and good music. Hey, a podcast for you, podcast for me. That's a podcast for everybody, y'all. Bringing you the honest caffeine breakdowns and reviews, and catch a glimpse of some good news that's happening around the world to add a little positivity to your day. You know, we're in stressful times, and I don't think anybody saw us being in these stressful times at this time of the year, or at this time last year. So, you know, we needed a little cheer, a little happiness in our lives. Some stuff that's going on around. So, I'll be sharing some stuff that I found along the way here, along the last week. And last but not least, gonna be rounding off the podcast with a little parting gift for y'all. We did this last episode, and help get you through the coming days. The new GDO playlist. Stay tuned for that a little bit later. You know what, dude? I'm pretty excited, actually. I'm pretty excited right now. I think we're tightening it down here, dialing it in. I feel like the flow is coming together, getting into the groove here for episode number 8. But without further ado, let's get into the caffeine breakdown. All right, and let me get a little sip here. Dude, I feel like sip is like how you say cheers. Because, like, when you say cheers, you think of, like, alcohol, right? Like you cheers a beer or a shot or something. But I feel like saying sip, that's a good way of saying cheers with your coffee. Because when you say cheers, you don't think of, cheers with the coffee, chug it, So I think that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. So if you're ever around me and we're sipping on some cup of joes together, hey, sip. And let me get that real quick. But today, for the caffeine breakdown, so here are the 4 categories. We're switching it up a little bit here. Just going to think it's going to flow a little bit better, But number 1, of course, the coffee name and the roaster. The message behind the coffee and where it comes from. Number 2, the roast type. And number 3, we're going to combine here the brew style and the coffee grind type, because those go hand in hand, I feel like, you got to have the right grind type for the brew style. And then we're going to do number 4, round it off with the appearance and packaging. And, that's going to tie the bow. Put a bow on the end of it, I think. Is that a saying? I don't know. Bringing it back to the PNW. Number 1 here, the coffee name and the roaster. The message here, the background. We got today, drum roll please, Cafe Umbria out of Seattle, Washington. All right, coming in hot with the Terra Sana blend. That's TERRASANA blend. Cafe Umbria out of Seattle. The raindrop a day city, some call it. Their A1 coffee making skills have been in Mr. Emanuel Bezzari's blood since back in the 40s. Sounds like this has been passed down through the generations, from his grandfather to his father to this man who is currently, sits at the helm, along with Jesse Sweeney and Pascal Madedu. Sorry if I'm butchering y'all names. Jesse and Pascal got a good deal, I feel like, here. Because, I mean, I don't know what their relationship is, but seems like a good deal to me. Mr. Emanuel's grandpa, Ornello Bizzarri, built his roastery back in the days in Perugia, Italy. Why am I saying that like that? Perugia, Italy. Passes it down through the fam, and now you're just buddies with this guy. You got a cut of that sweet, sweet pie. It's been passed down through the generations. I don't know. They might be family too. They might be cousins or something. So I'm not going to hate on it too much, but that's cool. That's a good deal. You're partners with this guy. They make some amazing coffee. Always glad to hear stories like this, though, passing down through the family. It inspires me, who makes me think, like, what am I going to leave behind? What do I want my legacy to be? What would be dope? Hey, just throwing it out there, putting it in the ether. Game show host. Dude, I feel like I could be a pretty good game show host. Just saying. Sorry, Carlton. Alfonso something. I don't know his last name, but the guy that played Carlton on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's on America's Funniest Home Videos. And I don't know, man. All right, but getting back into this here. This Terrasana. Grown by smallholder cooperative farmers in Peru, Mexico, and East Timor. It is artfully blended to balance the crisp apple-like acidity with deeper cocoa notes. We drink this remarkably agreeable and clean blend as a morning drip coffee. And that's the notes there from Cafe Umbria. The characteristics on this coffee: clean, crisp, apple, bittersweet chocolate. Okay, a little different here from befores, I really like this one. As we know from past episodes, we got some beans from Mexico, which typically produce, light acidity, prominent flavors. From Peru, we got the high altitudes. We got the Andes going through there. Giving us some good middle of the road, though, with some medium bodies typically and softer flavor profiles. Now, a new geographical location that I have not heard of before for coffee roasting and coffee making. We got East Timor repping for Asia. All right, they've been throwing down the coffee since the 1860s. It looks like when it was introduced by the Portuguese there. Found out while doing a little Google searching, East Timor is less than 1% of the coffee world market. What? Dude, okay, so how they get that percentage? Like what scale is that on? Like who's out here counting the beans of, how many are coming out of from where? Like what? I'm trying to be part of that. Like, who's getting paid to do that, to count coffee beans coming out of East Timor? Less than 1%. I don't know. Less than 1% found his way to our cup today via Cafe Umbria. So, thank you. Let me go. This Terrasana blend, 100% organic. All right. Medium roast here. All right. I have a confession. I think I may have switched up sides on them. All right. I used to like the dark roast only or more than the medium roast, but the flavors here, Terrasana, I don't know, this medium roast is good. I really like this one. And the flavors here from Terrasana, literally meaning healthy ground is what Terrasana means. Probably to point the finger at this is where the coffee that we're enjoying comes from. A fruitful, plentiful, nice dirt. We don't want none of that shitty dirt out here for our coffee beans, our coffee trees to be growing on. Okay, so it was that Terrasana. Let's move on to the brew style and the coffee grind type here. Okay, suitable for all brewing methods. Says so on the bag here. So we hit it with the French press. We hit it with the pour over. We got that drip. All right. And so we also tried a new thing this week, the reusable K-cups. So we'll see how the different flavor profiles stacked up there. All right. Different grind types for each of the methods here, of course. When grinding the beans up, actually this time, I could tell it looked like a deep, like a matte red, almost like a clay color when the beans were ground up. For the French press, did the same measurements as last episode, but 4 scoops Measured the weight out here, 32.1 grams of the whole beans. All right. And then 4 cups of water. Soak that for the 4 minutes. Okay. And the aromas on this one here, sweet, like that bittersweet a little bit, like it was mentioned before, which follows with the flavor as well. Smooth finish here. No lingering, bitter or coffee taste really on the back of the palate. The aromas on this one, I thought it smelled like something like a warm, like pie, like a pecan pie. Maybe my sniffer was off, but I don't know. That's what I could smell. That's what when I was trying to think of what it smelled like, I could think of like pecan pie. But overall, the flavor with the French press was very, very good, smooth, and not too acidic actually. So very delicious, medium to light acidity. And with the pour over, we up the ante a little bit here. Measured out 60 grams of the whole beans for 1 liter of water, aka 33.8 fluid ounces. Woo, dude, that. And this is what I'm sipping on here. Let me get a little sip. Made for a delicious cup of joe, bro. Some dark chocolate zing on the back there, on the back of the palate. Initially, it is a little bit bittersweet, but after a sip or two, and having this one with a nice almond chocolate chip caramel crisp with some granulated sugar on it is very delicious. The sweet off this cookie, and then that bittersweet on that front of the tongue, it complements each other very nicely. So I would recommend, if you ever have this coffee, get yourself a nice little sweet like this almond chocolate chip caramel crisp. That is delicious. But yeah, for the drip, this one actually I did notice was smoother than other coffees I've tried through the drip coffee maker in the past. Did just about, so measured this out again. It was just about 3/4 cups of coffee beans. It was 53.8 grams. I did not feel as much of the bittersweet like the dark chocolate, but still very smooth when drinking this coffee. And, I think I like that it wasn't as bittersweet as the pour over, but it also made for a larger batch, which, you want to keep coming back. You want to keep coming back when you have a good coffee. With a K-cup, I think I might have messed this one up. I just packed a bunch of the beans into the little reusable cup, and the product here, it was pretty bitter up front. I tried it 2 different times because it was pretty bitter, and then the second time it was still, that bittersweet that it talks about in the tasting notes, but a little bit more on the bitter side than the sweet side. So I don't know if maybe the Keurig just needs a new filter. Maybe I did the measurement wrong, but I just filled a little K cup and did the 8 ounces. Not the best cup of joe, but that's okay. That's okay. If you're on the go, maybe a quick little, 1-2 punch, 1-2 hitter. That might be good for you. You might like that a little bit more of that bitter on the taste, but not for me. So overall, the drip number 1, the French press number 2, the pour over number 3, and then the K cup number 4. So I recommend the drip. This brings us to the appearance and packaging, dude. And here, this is actually pretty dope. I would say it's like the bag is like a tree leaf green bag, it pops out at you. It pops out if you're looking at it on the shelves. Got some awesome designs in the bag. Can't really make any of them out, but the logo for Cafe Umbria is the Arco Estrusco. Estrusco, maybe? That's how you might say that. I don't know, Italian. It's a landmark of the Umbrian city. Pretty dope, all right? And actually, after looking into this, it was constructed in the second half of the 3rd century BC, which is kind of insane to think about. Like the 3rd century, 300 BC, that's wild. Like, we're in 2020. Like what? Over 2,000 years ago. And even then, that's not even that much time. Out of like all the time and ever, like if you think back like millions and millions of years, I don't know, puts things into perspective, huh? But the art here, awesome. The packaging, like the reseal, they could step it up a game. Not even the classic wire seal here. This is a resealable tape is what it says. This very much. I realized that this is probably like a penny pinching technique or some sort of save a few cents per bag. Since they're producing so many bags, that's probably why. They probably don't care as much about the packaging, but just saying, it can make a difference, especially when shipping. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't make coffee, so maybe it doesn't do anything. But on the receiving end, I care about the packaging. Shoot. I do like the name. I like the story. It's passed down through the generations. I know where the beans are coming from. Thank you. And, learned a little something new. East Timor. I always like learning new things. And, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, right? Smooth flavors here. A sweet yet crisp. Okay? Packaging could step it up a bit. But overall, Terrasana blend, medium roast. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And -1 because of that packaging piece, because my piece of tape actually fell off just now. So, not even the wire here, dude, come on. Some tape. What if the tape falls off? As it has now for me. Luckily I have another container, but dude, honestly, this overall was a good ass coffee. Will definitely be purchasing again. But thank you, Cafe Umbria. And now let's transition. Let's move into some good news. Let me get a little sip. Getting into the good news here. Hey, last week, Seahawks up here in Seattle came away with a dub last week in Thursday Night Football. 7 wins, 3 losses on the season, making them number 1 in the NFC West. 5-0 at home. All right. So next game coming up on the 30th of November against the Eagles for some Monday Night Football. Let's see if we can keep the wins rolling. Hawks are going to be on the road, but let's see some action. In other football news, Washington State University Cougars, tough loss against the Ducks, last week. Just glad to be watching the Cougars out here again playing on the field. Although this last weekend's matchup was supposed to be against Stanford, and it had been canceled due to at least one positive COVID test and the contact tracing that must be done. One player we know for a fact, the young leader, Jaden Delora, JDL, some might call him, tested positive Thursday night before the game that was supposed to be on Saturday. This upcoming week, it's supposed to be the Apple Cup against the University of Washington Huskies. Okay, feels much different this year after not having played pretty much the first half of the season due to COVID. But let's see how this will play out with these COVID tests and the results that had come back. COVID's going crazy right now. We're like at the peak of what we ever been. So everybody, dang, I don't even know. We want to say stay safe, but it's tough. It's tough. And I get that. Some good news though. I did get tested last week because I had run a temp. And your boy's test came back negative. All right. I've actually had several tests done. It's kind of tough being in healthcare and, coming into contact with different patients, different people. And you don't want to be a staff member and be sick and then you pass it on to your coworkers and it just spreads throughout the hospital. That would not be good. So, taking the precautions. Got tested, came back negative. All good. But along these same lines, I got some great news this last week, last couple of days, because about 2 weeks ago now, yeah, it was a little over 2 weeks ago. Some family members of mine got tested and they came out positive. Some of my cousins back home, as well as my mom and my sister, which was it was tough. It was scary. They went home with oxygen monitors, and it was not looking good for a couple of days. It was tough. We're good now. They're getting better. They still can't taste, which is weird. So that sucks. But I think that's coming back too. So that was great news. Glad to hear that they're doing better. And, take care of those that you love. Check in with those loved ones of yours that maybe you haven't checked in with for a while. Everybody that plans on traveling to see family, because we are on the holiday season, just be as careful as possible. Maybe get a test, get a test the day before you go visit aunt and uncle. And maybe a test the day after or a couple days after. Just make sure, some peace of mind. That'd be good. But moving on. Talking about family. Orcas back in the news, dude. This time, I swear, I don't know. I feel like this keeps coming back. It keeps coming up, but this is pretty cool news here. The Oklahoma, and you heard that right, Oklahoma. What? The Oklahoma Killer Whale Project is what it's called. And it's being put on to honor the connection between the Tahlequah, Oklahoma community and Tahlequah of J-Pod, the mama whale who we all know and love. This project is a double match fundraising effort that will be geared towards research for conservation efforts of the southern resident killer whales. I guess people are still cool with calling them killer whales. I don't know. Donations will be matched dollar for dollar by the Kirkpatrick Foundation up to $20,000, as well as an anonymous donor from Washington State matching donations dollar for dollar up to $40,000. Man, that's cool. Thank you, anonymous donor. Letting those who are passionate about marine life, conservation, or, would like to contribute, letting those people participate. And think about it, dude. Think about our oceans, our waterways, things we take for granted, but could literally not live life as we know it without these things, so great to hear this effort being put forth. Thank you to all those involved. While on the subject of water, dude, get this one kind of blew my mind. So 3 researchers from China, there was footage that came out the other day of them in a submarine type vehicle. It's submersible is what it's called. Whatever the difference there is, not sure. I think it's just a smaller version of a submarine, but they parked it at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Dog, what? For those of you that do not know about the Mariana Trench or what the Mariana Trench is, this is the deepest part of the ocean. As we know of it, right now. But this trench is deep down in the ocean as Mount Everest is high above ground. Bro, what? Just think about that. More than 33,000 feet. That's literally I did the math here, it's over 6 miles. Underwater, dude? What? No, thank you. It's also more than 1,600 miles long. So just think about that, dude. This isn't, I don't know. Maybe this isn't interesting to other people, but this shit is just so insane to me. Just think about everything that we as humans know, right? Like technology, blah, blah, blah. And then the fact that we really don't know everything about this earth, this big ass trench that we just have barely explored. And then you got outer space too. I know that the Tesla, what is it called? That just flew up into outer space. But I don't know. It's just crazy. There's so much stuff out there that we don't know. But this underwater, this underwater expedition, I would not be down to go into one of those submersibles and go down into the depths where it's literally so dark. I don't know. The submersible that was in this article is called the Fenduze, or Striver, I like Fenduzé better, dove to a national record of 10,909 meters for manned deep sea diving after landing in the deepest known point of the trench. Challenger Deep was just shy of 10,927 meters, a world record set by an American explorer in 2019. America, we're number one. Woo! I think that's from a movie. But anyway, this is cool news because they did find the depths of the trench teeming with life, and that's in quotes. That's what it says there. But who knows what the hell is down there? You know, maybe it's the future. Maybe those little baby hatchlings, little fellas and fellettes are gonna grow up to evolve into land walking creatures. But in other news, let's come back to land for a little bit. All right, got some great news actually from some close friends that live here before, but have lived far away for some time now, several years, and they're moving back into the area. So that made me happy. Some personal good news here. It'll allow us to hang out more often, socially distanced hanging, of course. Although our gatherings will be different, it'll be nice to be able to see them more often. Thankful for friends and family over the holidays, this upcoming holiday. Thanksgiving happening this week on Thursday. And, good time for just, being thankful. Although this year, many people are not going to be able to spend it with family members and the usual crowd that you might be around on Thanksgiving. But we got technology, dude. You give them a FaceTime, give them a jingle, give them a call, let them know that you appreciate them, let them know that they're part of your life and you love and care for them. Because as we've seen over the last 8, 9, 10 months now, whatever it might be, since the pandemic, it's been tough. It's been real tough on a lot of people being away from loved ones. We kind of took it for granted, I think, in the past. Or at least I know I did. I for sure took it for granted, reaching out to those that I care for. So reach out to people and have yourself a little feast. All right. Some good news here on the subject of feasts and foods. Many places around the U.S. are teaming up and delivering or offering free food as the Thanksgiving holiday is coming up in a couple days. Very nice here. Over this last weekend and up until the 25th of this week, places in Southern California are gifting turkeys and Thanksgiving care packages to families that might be in need, or need a little extra help. Everyone out here is in the giving mood. Plenty of religious organizations out here giving. We got BMW is in the mix, slanging turkeys for the children, for people that might need it. All these places, from what I saw, are delivering to your car. So maintaining the social distancing, and masks are mandatory if you're picking up a package or a turkey in order to get the basket. And some places are also giving out COVID care bags with, hand wipes, travel size hand wipes, hand sanitizer, disposable face masks and such. Shoot, some places even give you a COVID test for free. That's pretty cool. Wow, we live in a weird time, right? Where COVID tests, I'm getting excited about free COVID tests. I want to go there, get a turkey, get a free COVID test. Twin Falls, Idaho, in the Pacific Northwest. Amazing Grace Fellowship Church gave away 1,300 boxes of free food through the United States Department of Agriculture's Farmers to Families Food Box Program. So the boxes have a little bit of everything in them, from milk and cheese to fresh veggies and fruit. The church is planning to hold the food box event every Wednesday from now to the end of December. So anybody out there that's in Idaho that is around the Twin Falls location, if you are in need of some food, they would be happy to assist, I'm sure, and doing that every Wednesday from now to the end of December. According to the USDA's website, more than 100 million food boxes have been distributed in support of American farmers and families affected by COVID-19. Dang, that's a lot. That's a big number. 100 million food boxes. Wow. Thank you to all those who have supported and offered your time and your efforts to helping those that are in need. Even Walmart, who I know has come under fire before, for poor support and treatment of their employees, teamed up with Ibotta, IBOTTA, is a tech company. Wow, we're in a new age, got the apps out here, but they got a whole list of foods that you can redeem for 100% cash back. Sounds like you get the app on your phone or hop online on the web browser and shop for the mashed potatoes and the gravy and maybe some green beans for the casserole, some cranberry sauce with the ribs, on the side. We all know that one, that cranberry sauce. Shop in the app and pick it up, all your stuff without having to stand in the lines. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, excited for this Thanksgiving. It's going to be a little bit different, but maybe have the Zoom up with all the different family members and say grace and go around the table that way. Also, after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, I don't even know. I haven't really looked into it. What's that going to look like this year, for those that partake? I wonder what's happening. Never really been a big fan of Black Friday myself. Had a traumatic incident. It wasn't too traumatic, but I did wait in line for several hours and just saw how nasty people got with each other, and not a big fan. I was at the Best Buy. For like 2 to 3 hours, just standing in line outside, because I was like, oh, dude, this smart TV, I've been wanting it. I think I was in high school. I was like 15, 16, must have been like 17. And I was standing in line for all this time. I was like, yeah, there's going to be like 100 of them are going to be free. And after that, like 50 of them are going to be like 50% off. So something like that. It was like a cool deal. So if I get this, even if I'm not in the first 100 to get a free TV, I'll get, this $500 TV for $250. Sweet. And I was planning on that. Boom, I get up to the front of the line and bang, they're all sold out. All the free ones are gone. They're spoken for. And the last one at 50% off has sold out like 5 minutes before I got up to the front of the line. I was like, bro, what? I was so pissed. So then all the TVs that were there were just like normal for normal whatever price, and I was pissed. So spent all that time, got no TV, and that's my experience with Black Friday. So I have refused to go since then. But let me get a little sip, and let's get into the GDO playlist for this week. And we got Brent motherfucking Fayez. Christopher Brent Wood is his full name, stage name Brent Fayez. This dude has any man that listens to his music wishing they were as cool as him, myself included. This guy is so swagged out. I saw an interview with him. He was voted like best fashion sense in high school, or most well dressed, whatever that thing is in high school. So he's been swagging, he's been dripping since a youngin'. And he also mentioned in that interview that maybe all the clothes that he had were not paid for. So I don't know, you can take that as you'd like. But he's just a smooth man. I mean, I've never met the guy, but I can imagine. He's got some R&B sounds, some soul sounds, some unapologetic R&B. Born and raised in Columbia from Maryland, having a competitive atmosphere growing up, as he mentioned, and his most recent album came out February of 2020, titled Fuck the World, featuring some songs like Been Away, singing his ass off about, struggles of choosing between love or money. He's on the road, trying to stack that cheddar, but back home, somebody's, maybe his companion is about to leave his ass because he ain't around. It's a solid listen. A little bit sad about the struggles. The song "Fuck the World" is a grade A banger. Seems appropriate for the time we're in 2020. Give that a listen. It'll have you bopping your head for sure. His 2017 album, Saunders Son, features some dope songs as well. Gang Over Love talks about the struggles growing up where he's from, and still making it out. And Mr. Fayaz has been busy these last couple of years while establishing himself and his career. He has also formed a group with a couple of producers, Deepat and Atu. And this group you might have heard of goes by the name of Sonder. And they have also produced some fire music. You may recognize the song Too Fast, which came out in 2017 with Brent Faiyaz as the main vocals. They have, climbed the charts with their first album that came out. I think they were like number 20 or 23, number 23 on the Complex albums of the year 2017. Dude, these playlists, you gotta listen to the playlist to know what I'm talking about. Anyways, yeah, check out the GDO playlist for some smooth listening and feed the soul with Mr. Fayaz's vocals. All right, but short and sweet here. GDO playlist, check it out. The link's gonna be in the description of this podcast. You can follow it to the Spotify link or the Music Apple link, whatever is better for you. And that's it for this one, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in, and see y'all next month, December, coming in hot. Peace.